And finally, moving on to question number 6, which has come in from Katrina here. Hi there, Katrina. Thanks for being part of the amazing WiggyWam community. So Katrina says, please, can you help me? I want to buy my first home, but I'm scared. I've watched some of your videos on TikTok, and I'm shocked about some of the difficult situations people find themselves in. I've worked really hard to save my deposit, so don't want to lose it or lose money if things fall apart, but I'm worried about dealing with agents and solicitors and surveyors. In fact, everything. Can you help me with the whole thing so it's less scary and I don't make a mistake? Okay, Katrina, well, thank you for your question. And may I say, I completely understand it and I completely get where you're coming from. And it is one of the reasons why about 40% of first-time buyers just don't even enter the marketplace, because they're really worried that things are going to go wrong, the deals are going to fall apart, they're going to get ripped off, they're going to lose money. And it's this complete nightmare horror story because, let's be honest, it's the most expensive purchase that you're ever likely to do in your life, okay? And that's what puts so many people off. And this is why I'm so passionate about educating people about what's involved in moving home. And people say, well, why would you need to do it? And my view is, well, we need to do it because of questions like this that's coming from Katrina here. People are nervous. You know, if I said to you, go out and buy an Aston Martin or a Ferrari or a Lamborghini or a Rolls Royce, okay, and you see 10 on a forecourt, okay, and you're going to spend upwards of £100,000 on each one of those cars, you bet your bottom dollar that you're going to know inside and out about that car, and you'll have had an AA check, and you've probably had a mechanic look over it or a specialist garage look over that car to make sure it's absolutely right, because the last thing you want to do is buy a premium product like that and then end up in a situation where you're spending out thousands and thousands of pounds to put the thing right. And this is the unfortunate part about with houses, is that it's so easy in some cases to hide really nasty problems. And unfortunately, when you're a first-time buyer or even a second-time or third-time mover, there's so many things that can go wrong that you're just not even aware of because you don't have the experience, okay? A case in point, I think it was the second or third property that I ever bought in my life, right? Well, this is really embarrassing to admit, Katrina, but I'm going to share the story with you because I want you to know that I sympathize completely with your situation, okay? So I think it was like the third property that I ever bought. And you can verify this because I actually went on Homes Under the Hammer with this story, okay, with old Martin Roberts, who was an old mate of mine for a while. So what happened was I went to look at a property, and bearing in mind I just qualified as a surveyor, all right, I went to have a look at a property. It was a 3-bedroom mid-terraced home, looked absolutely fantastic, looked absolutely solid, 1980s build. Thought it was a beautiful, beautiful home. Bought it at auction, got a really good deal on it. Thought I was buying it like 35% below market value. Really happy. And then 3 days later, turned up on site with a surveyor for the valuation. Okay, and the surveyor goes, "You do realise this is a concrete property, don't you?" And I was like, "Huh? What?" And then, you know, I put my chest out like, "Well, I'm a building surveyor and you're just a valuation surveyor," and, you know, all that sort of crazy stuff goes on in your head. And then you realise, actually, I've dropped a massive clanger here. I've gone to auction. I've bid on the property. I now have, 25 days to buy it. And I'm going to struggle to get finance in place because this is now a concrete property. And it wasn't actually a concrete property. What had happened was the old concrete panels had been taken down, which were the main problem because they were the ones that corroded. And then a brick and block traditional skin had been put up on the outside, which is why it looked like a 1980s built home, okay? The challenge was getting a professional consultant certificate in place on that property within the timescale without it costing a fortune, and then getting a sign-off from the valuer that everything was okay. And with all my experience, I'm stood there in the sitting room, literally banging my head up against the wall going, what the hell have I done here, you know? And it makes for a great story. It makes for a good episode of Homes Under the Hammer if you ever see it. But the point being, I totally get the concerns that you have, and probably me sharing that story has probably put the fear of God into you, Katrina. And I really apologize if that has happened. But coming back to the original point, this is why I'm so passionate about educating people about the moving home process, because we only do it a couple of times in our life. It's incredibly stressful. In fact, it's the third most stressful thing we do after, the death of a loved one and a divorce. Those are pretty tragic life events to go through. And then it comes to moving house, which should be a joyful experience, but it's really not, because it's so stressful and it's so time consuming. And there's so much that we have to take into account. And we're so worried about things going wrong that this is why I'm so passionate about the education. So what I will say to you, Katrina, we're here to help you every step of the way. And I sincerely mean that. And that's not just for you. It's for every first-time buyer or home mover. We are sincerely here to help you. And if you go to our website, you can go on our learning section on the website. That is WiggyWam.co.uk/learn. And you'll find a whole host of videos on there, which is video trainings that I have provided for you guys so that you can learn a little bit more behind the scenes about what actually goes on when it comes to searching for a property. Where do I find the property? How do I do a viewing on a property? Which sounds really basic, right? You just turn up and look around and you walk out. No, it can be a lot more complex than that if you want to avoid buying a problem child, how do you make an offer? How do you structure making an offer? How do you negotiate the offer? How do you then get the deal through to completion? What is it about using a surveyor? What is it about using a solicitor, etc.? And all those videos recorded, I think there's about, 3 or 4 hours worth of content on there at least that you can get your teeth into that's really going to help you with that process. I also put together Home Buyer Secrets as a way for you to get into my head and sort of 25 years plus experience of what it takes to buy and sell property. And the reason I've done this is because, there's 200 plus pages of information in there. It's a lot easier for me to, give you a copy of that book for you to then read and sort of educate yourself so that you're more informed when it comes to making this huge financial commitment, which, is you're going to live with for at least probably 3, 5, 10 years of your life. Why not get it right from day one? Okay. Now, if you do want some extra help and support, Katrina, we are here. I'll happily sit down on a Zoom call with you, or we can exchange emails, whatever it might be, whatever help and support you want to buy your first property. I'll be absolutely delighted to help you because, as I say, I know how daunting and frustrating and scary it can be. In fact, the first property I ever bought for a buy-to-let, I actually drove past that property at least twice a week to make sure it was still standing there, and it's stood there since about the 1930s. So I can understand your worry and your frustration, your concern. The difference is once you've bought several properties, you kind of lose a lot of that fear. But as a first-time buyer, I understand how challenging and daunting it is, as I say, which is why we're so passionate about educating you guys. We're also producing a lot of blogs as well that you can read. And as I say, we're here to hold your hand throughout the entire process. What we've actually done, and it is revealed in Home Buyer Secrets, but we've actually redesigned the entire home buying process to make it easier, faster, better, and less stressful for our valued clients. And the reason is, again, coming back to what you've outlined in your question here, Katrina, is that it is scary, it is frustrating, it is daunting, and there is a risk of financial loss. And we've tried to put that safety net in place straight away so that you know that you're covered, and then everything else off the top of that, we can start to build. So you get the right conveyancers on board, you get the right surveyors on board, you find the property, you negotiate the offer well, etc., etc. It all adds up to a much smoother process that you can go through that is going to be without as many complications as somebody who hasn't done it in the last 5 to 10 years or longer, and it's all very kind of up in the air, very confusing, very kind of how do I deal with this? We absolutely want to be there to guide you through the entire process. So just send me an email, Katrina, happy to help at WiggyWam.co.uk. And if you want to put help in the subject bar, that'll be great, and I'll be delighted to jump on a call with you and guide you through the entire process. And as I say, I'll send you a copy of this book as well, just to help you out and get you started. So can't say fairer than that, Katrina. Do relax, though. It's a lot easier when you've got expert people on your side and fighting your corner for you. It will go a lot easier when you know exactly what to look out for, which is, as I say, why we spend that time educating people. Once you're educated, the fear goes away. It's a bit like I use the car analogy. You know, my partner's kind of terrified to take a car to the garage because she automatically thinks she's going to get ripped off, and so she sends it in with me. And I just go in there and talk the language, and it is about talking the language, okay? Because if you notice, each industry and each profession has their own language, and when you start to talk the language of the garage, and oh, this guy knows what he's on about, things tend to flow a lot easier and quicker. I tend to find. So that's just my experience. I could be wrong for other people. You know, they might have a different view on life, but that's definitely what works for me. And as I say, I'd be delighted to help you out and give you that guidance all the way through to you picking up the keys to your new home. And then you can invite us around for a cup of tea, and we'll have a nice housewarming party, which would be fantastic. So wishing you the best of luck with that, Katrina. As I say, we're always here for you, so let us know whatever else we can do to help you. All right. And that goes for anybody else as well who's watching this, who is feeling overwhelmed or daunted by the entire process. Just let me know, and I'm more than happy to help guide you through the entire thing. Well, once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much indeed for all of your questions, and really appreciate your support in these webinars that we're doing and for the questions that we're putting out there online. Please do consider sharing these videos with your friends and social networks. The more people that we can reach, there's about 1 million people a year that need our help and support in the home moving journey, and it would be a pleasure to answer their pertinent property questions and to give them as much advice, help and support as we possibly can. So please do, as I say, consider subscribing to these videos, consider sharing them with your social network, getting it out there, help us reach more and more people. For those of you that want to send in your property questions to us, we're here every week doing this, so please send your questions in. You can send them in via email. Our email address is happytohelp@wiggywam.co.uk. That's happytohelp@wiggywam.co.uk. And send us your property questions. And you can also reach us via our website, which is wiggywam.co.uk. So that's wiggywam.co.uk. You can go online, set up your free profile on there, access some of the amazing resources we've already got on there, and that knowledge base is growing by the day. So well worth investing some time there, having a look round. You can also contact us via Twitter. Twitter handle is @WiggyWam_UK. So that's @WiggyWam_UK. And send your questions to us there, or share some social media stuff online with us as well. That would be amazing. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for your support. Thank you for joining the Property Revolution. Thank you for pledging your allegiance to what we're doing here with WiggyWam. And I look forward to welcoming you back same time, same place next week, and wish you all a great week, rest of the week ahead, and an amazing weekend as well. So thanks ever so much indeed. You take care. Good night. God bless.